Nick de Vries' Formula One career is officially over. AlphaTauri have terminated the Dutchman's contract and will replace him with current Red Bull reserve Daniel Ricciardo from the next race in Hungary. So as it turns out, that Silverstone tyre test, which Red Bull themselves have been referring to as an evaluation of some time, was actually a fully fledged warm-up session for Danny Ric ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Many fans are understandably exultant at the prospect of the Australian's return, but it would be tough to argue against the existence of any naysayers. There are many who would have preferred to see Ayumu Iwasa or Liam Lawson in that AlphaTauri seat, but seeing as how both are in the middle of F2 and Super Formula title bids, I get where the higher-ups at Red Bull are coming from. Granted, Ricciardo's stock has plummeted during his 2-year stint with McLaren, but he is still a capable pair of hands. And, though his job at present will require him to get the most out of that AlphaTauri, it's safe to say Ricciardo has his sights set significantly further up the grid. Sergio Perez is in the middle of a horrendous run of form, and should it continue, a call-up from the main team is not out of the question. Perez's poor form and error-prone nature has been largely inconsequential in 2023. After all, Max Verstappen has accumulated enough points to win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships by himself. But what about next year? What if in 2024, someone like Mercedes get their act together, start chomping at the bit, and legitimately challenge Red Bull for both championships? A current off-colour Perez will surely be a handicap should that turn out to be the case. Consequently, one can't help but think that a potential reunion with Ricciardo and Red Bull might, just might, be possible. As for poor old Nick de Vries, his career really seems to have peaked as it began. After that emphatic debut at Monza last year where he deputised for Alex Albon and got points right out of the gate, the Dutchman has endured one of the most spectacular downturns in recent years. That shocker in Jeddah, that first corner crash in Miami, that nightmare weekend in Baku, it's all piled up really quickly and de Vries' confidence has suffered as a result. None of this has been helped by either the fairly unremarkable 2023 AlphaTauri or the fact that Yuki Tsunoda has really upped his game this year. After an erratic couple of years, during which many people considered his future to be in doubt, Yuki has become a model of relative consistency despite his lackluster equipment. He scored both the team's points thus far, has outqualified his teammate 8-2, outraced him 7-2, and for the first 4 races of the year, the Japanese driver never once finished lower than 11th. That's some feat given the car he's been driving. The irony in all this is that coming into the season, almost no one would have seen this coming. Given Tsunoda's past form and Nick's Formula 2 and Formula E titles, most would have expected the Dutchman to have it all his own way. Instead, Yuki has stepped up to the plate and made de Vries look like the bedraggled rookie. There's no denying he deserved a shot at F1, and while we're all brilliant with the benefit of hindsight, it's easy to understand why he snubbed Williams for AlphaTauri. That said, there's no denying the fact that as harsh as the environment around him has been, Nick de Vries hasn't exactly cut the mustard in the top flight of motorsport. So what can we expect from this new lineup? Skeptics will no doubt question whether or not Ricciardo is actually an improvement over de Vries, but casting aside his experience, his race wins, and that Silverstone tyre test, during which he allegedly clocked some very impressive times, the fact is, things can't get much worse for AlphaTauri. It's very tight to the bottom of that constructors table, and though the Red Bull Junior squad currently finds itself at the back of that queue, the bottom 4 teams are covered by just 9 points. And should the team's forthcoming upgrades pay dividends, I can't help but think that an improving Tsunoda and a returning Danny Ric might just be the boost Faenza needs to at the very least drag itself off the bottom in the constructors race. Whether or not it will, remains to be seen. Thank you all very much for watching. Feel free to drop a like and hit that subscribe button down below, and let me know what you think about AlphaTauri's decision. Was it the right choice, or was Nick de Vries never given a fair chance? I'll see you all very soon.